All right, last time we learned, this is a mimer that's found in Maimerim Melukatim base of the Rebbe. And the mimer talks about the sentence that's found in the prophecy, which is found in Micha. And he makes a statement. He says, "Don't worry, you're going to get out of all the exiles, the Jewish people. There's going to be another redemption, just like when you went and left Egypt. We Jews are in for a really big surprise." That's what God said. Tell the Jewish people, he said to Micha, tell the Jewish people, the Jews are going to have another big redemption, like when they left Egypt. And it's going to be like the days that they left Egypt. It's going to be also miracles. So do you remember last time we learned this? Do you remember we learned this? Yeah. It was a few days ago. So it says, like the days when you left Egypt, I'm going to show you miracles. So the Rebbe in the first paragraph of this mimer, the Rebbe said, from this we can understand that just like when we left Egypt, there were these fantastic miracles that no one was expecting there were going to be, as the same thing is going to be in the future. The Mashiach is going to come. He's going to do these big miracles and gather all the Jews and bring them to Israel. So it's going to be something like that. And there'll be big miracles. So, but the Rebbe says, but there's a lot of places in Kabbalah and also not in Kabbalah that says that the future redemption is going to be infinitely greater than the first redemption from Egypt. Because really, when we left Egypt, what did we do? It wasn't just a political thing. It was just a social thing that God took the Jews out of oppression, physical oppression. He took the Jews out of a lack of awareness of Hashem. The Jews were not aware of what God is. They couldn't think about God. They were oppressed all the time, thinking about their bodies. When God took them out, so now they were free, not just from Egypt, but they were free to serve God. Like God told Moses to go into Paro and say, let my people go so they should serve me. That's the main thing, serving God. That's the reason the Jews got out of Egypt. Before they got out of Egypt, they were servants of Paro. Then they got out of Egypt. Now they became servants of God. And their awareness of God is incomparable to what it was before when they were in Egypt. That's redemption. And the future redemption is going to be incomparable to how it was after they left Egypt. The future redemption, their awareness of Hashem, of God, and their desire to serve God will be incomparable even to how it was in the first redemption when they left Egypt. Huh? And that's why there's a lot of opinions that say that in the future redemption, we won't even mention going out of Egypt. We won't even mention it. We won't remember it. It'll be nothing. So the Rebbe says, how can this be? If so, what does Micha mean that like the days of Egypt, like the redemption of Egypt, will the future redemption? The future redemption is nothing like like going out of Egypt. Nothing like it at all. It's like comparing 0 to 1, right? And then comparing 1 to infinity.
Well, but there's two frames of reference that you can look at. It can refer to the miracles that are involved in the actual leaving, or it can refer to the state of the Jewish people at the time of the Exodus.
Right.
So which one are we talking about?
Well, mainly what we're talking about is the second one. We're talking mostly about the consciousness of the Jewish people, the awareness of Jews. That was really the purpose of both redemptions. That God showed us these tremendous miracles to show the Jews the tremendous miracles was in order that the Jews should think more about God, should think less about themselves and think more about God. But of course, we're going to learn that there was a big disadvantage to the first redemption when the Jews left Egypt. We'll call that the first redemption. That God did everything. He did it all. The Jews were incapable of thinking about God. The only one really thinking about God was Moses. All the other people, it says they believed in God, but they really didn't have anything to think about. When they were free, their minds were filled with what's going to be, what's happening over here.
I've heard that the circumcision at the time of the Exodus was said that they would have a mitzvah under the belt.
That's what God told them to do. Even though you have to admit that that's a pretty brave thing to do, to circumcise yourself before you go on a
even if you're not going
journey.
anywhere.
Just right. Just sit at home. Don't try it at home. Right. Okay, let's do base.
I thought we were doing Zion.
What? No, we'll do base. I don't remember if we did base or not. I'm pretty sure that we did, but let's do it again. Base. Nekudat habiyah bazeh. So what is the point of explanation over here? Sheva pasuk zeh, like the days you left Egypt, I will show you miracles. There are two explanations. Yesh shtei perushim. Perush echad, one explanation is shagula atida tiyeh kagula d'Yetzias Mitzrayim, that the redemption in the future will be like the redemption of going out of Egypt. Shagam az ye'erenu niflos, that even then there will be big miracles, just like there was in the redemption that we left Egypt. So it's something like what you said, physical redemption. You with me?
Not in the book, no.
Huh?
I can't find it, no. Second page.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay? Shagula tida shagam. Let me have your here. Take my sefer. He hasn't got a different book here. Helps to be on the right page, rabbis. Nekudat habiyah. The main point of explanation is sheba pasuk zeh, that in this sentence that Micha said, there are two explanations. Perish echad, the first one, that the future redemption tiyeh will be like the redemption of going out of Egypt. Shagam az, that also then ye'erenu niflaot, there will be miracles kamosha hayah, like it was behagula d'Yetzias Mitzrayim, in the redemption of going out of Egypt. Explanation number one. Explanation number two, shaniflaot sheyiyu, that the miracles which will be begula tida, in the future redemption, you will be niflaot, wonders, gam be'erich, even when compared haniflaot shehayu b'yamei tzeischam meretz Yisrael, when you left Egypt. In other words, the future miracles that are going to be in the future redemption will make the miracles that happened in the first Exodus look like nature. People will say, that God could rain bread from heaven, that he could split the sea. Of course he could split the sea. What's the question? Right? The miracles he did for us now are even going to be greater. What does this mean? Listen, just like if you were to tell the Jews when they left Egypt that God's going to split the sea for you, and they wouldn't have believed it. They wouldn't have believed it. You're all going to get out. On one day, all the firstborn are going to get smitten. There's going to be all these plagues. They wouldn't believe it. They believed that they were going to get out. They believed that someone was going to come and redeem them. But how it was going to be, with such miracles, 10 plagues and bread from heaven, it was incomprehensible to them. The same thing right now, we're sitting here, it's incomprehensible to us what's going to be the future redemption. It's going to be some sort of a new awareness of God that we never had before. A new encounter with the creator of the universe that we've never had anything vaguely like it. So not only will nature change, but our nature will change. When God took the Jews out of Egypt the first time, human nature did not change. In the future redemption, human nature will change. Human nature will be different. Human nature will be different. Okay, Herschel. Haynu dahagam, that even those of Chalolos, that in general the niflos of a geula tida, the future redemption, heim domot, they will be similar to the miracles of going out of Egypt, even though the actual physical miracles, but achar afal pikein, nevertheless yisron, there will be an advantage in those miracles of the future. They'll be so much better until sheyu niflot, that they will be considered to be miracles. Gam be'erech haniflot yetzias Mitzrayim, even compared to the miracles of leaving Egypt. So the miracles in the future will make the miracles; those will be real miracles. And that's what the sentence is saying, according to the second explanation. Like the days you left Egypt, now I'm going to really show you miracles. Then it wasn't really miracles. That was just, it's like the strongest kid in the class in the third grade. He's the strongest kid. He can lift up 2 desks with his hand, right? So that's really strong. Then you get Samson. Compare him to Shimshon Agibor, right? That he could lift up. It says he lifted up the gates of Jerusalem. He lifted him up on his shoulder. It's incomparable, but you can't compare it at all. The future miracles are going to be incomparably greater than going out of Egypt. Let's explain this according to Kabbalah. Ubir milos and niflos the el, explaining what is how is better, the miracles in the future on the miracles of going out of Egypt in Kabbalah. Let's take a 1-minute break.